Good morning. What is a cool, grey and cloudy day? It is Thursday, the 20th of July. I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. Okay, so this has come courtesy of David Salisbury at Fanboy 3 and contains releases for Free RPG Day 2023. So I want to thank him for his generosity and his support and say that if you're ever in Manchester and need a good gaming shop to go to, then Fanboy 3 is a great choice. So I've already pulled out this and done an unboxing of it. And the next thing I'm going to look at is Level Up, Level 1. Volume 4, released for Free RPG Day 2023. It's the Free RPG Day Indie RPG Anthology. Published by Ninth Level Games. And Ninth Level Games has supported Free RPG Day with this free little booklet, which contains essentially this series of free little booklets containing a mixture of indie style role-playing games with an emphasis upon one session storytelling style play. So the indie RPG scene is diverse, fascinating and vibrant part of the tabletop role-playing game community. Ninth Level Games has again brought together a few choice games from the world of indie RPGs for Free RPG Day 2023. Some of the games inside are silly and some are serious. Some can be played solo and others are meant for a table. Some use dice and one even uses a dreidel. What they have in common is a unique and interesting take upon the hobby that we all love, role-playing. Inside you'll find ready-to-play games about endings and epilogues, explore an abandonware MMO, lament about mighty heroes, get lost in labyrinths, reprise the last day of school, move into houses as ghosts, ruminate on the deaths of great heroes, the death of your chat room, and of course the death of a beloved pet, and many more. Oh, and there is totally an RPG game about a bachelorette party. Save a daiquiri for us. Welcome to Level 1. So, there we go. And you've got a list of all the sponsors. So this is actually sort of like, it's a group effort. We've got a letter from the editor and a guide to Free RPG Day, which, founded in 2007, is now 16 years on. Now run by Gaming Dales LLC. And I do my best to support it by reviewing all the content. It means I get copies of everything, but I do, as you can see, I do unboxings, I talk about it, and so on. So we've got a bit of a guide there to Free RPG Day, followed by advice on audience and tone, and who the adventures and role-playing games in the book are for. So safety tools are always good. So you've got a full explanation of those, and then they can never be repeated enough. They are useful. With the addition of the O card from Ninth Level Games, I don't know what an O card. O card is essentially an O card is basically a thumbs up card saying you tap it when you in the game and you say I really enjoyed that. So what else we've got? We've got adverts for the Chew role-playing game, which I'd actually really like to get hold of course, for Total Secursium, using the two starter sets, Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest. And a role-playing game called Ink, which I don't know about. We'll have to explore that. Before we get to the first game, which is Hero Catastrophe, the last survival checks of your mightiest adventurers. Essentially, listen up heroes. You are your classic epic hero party, lousy with magic weapons, buckling with treasure, songs of lore and plunder echoing your great hall. Suddenly stripped, cast into a wilderness you cannot escape. Which sort of a bit like A4 Dungeons of the Slave Lords for the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition. But essentially this is a role-playing game where you tell the last story of heroes forced to overcome a situation where normally they would be equipped for. About a friend who pressed Revolution, which is distributor, and then we have a basically quite what this is, filling an empty breath, about dealing with a dead body, and what happens next, which I think it involves zombies. Daiquiris and drunk girls, and natural 2 adventure. Celebrate the end of being signal. Live your last night of glory, great deeds and freedom. Your group is a bunch of rowdy bridesmaids at a bachelorette party. You crave only 2 things in life: fun and booze. The goal is to obtain as much of both as you can before the night ends, or you get kicked out of the bar. So that's going to make it for a raucously rowdy affair, I think, and going to be an interesting sort of thing, because it's if you're playing that in a mixed group, where you have both men and women, playing. I'm not saying that men can't attend bachelorette parties, but it's not something they normally do. We have Rainbow Bridge, to your household pets, which have just crossed the Rainbow Bridge, but your journey's just begun. Travel the glimmering mist to the next stage of existence, all the while making new friends and sharing what you love most in life. So sort of like, Rainbow Bridge, perhaps travelling essentially to the equivalent of Valhalla for your family pets. So character creation and play, and live without warning. Basically, this candle's topics of death, grief, and mourning. So there's a certain gloominess to this, the scenarios and games presented in this anthology. It's all about what happens next, after the end, and then we've got basically effort for Cthulhu Confidential, this scenario anthology. Even death can die before. I've got adventurous respite. Essentially, again, about what happens after your adventure is an adventure is over. Where you encounter the last homely hall, as opposed to the last homely house, and rest and recuperate. From Bully Pulp Games, play something dark, strange, and ridiculous. A Necessary Miracle is a solo journaling game inspired by 1,000-year-old vampire and Mud by Total Bun. It's about searching for something which you've lost. So you've got a set of tables in here which will provide prompts for you to actually further explore within the journal, which you will write as you proceed. Essentially, this Labyrinth is literally a role-playing game about being caught in a maze, how to escape. That's got a longer game. And then Are You Lost Traveller? A game about exploring dead virtual worlds. I mean, that's interesting sort of thing, essentially, that you that some virtual worlds actually are just closed down by the companies that create them, but others sort of like linger on and you can still play in them. Some are resurrected and kept alive by fans. Dear Marley, sort of like it's about the last day of school. And Alexander RPG Library, a non-profit organisation, accept donations. Hauntification is a basic role-playing game about being dead. Haunting a house. and you know, it's sort of like Ghosts, you know, the BBC or TV series, or the NBC TV series, the role playing game, and that's no bad thing. You know, the players take the roles of ghosts, and the newcomers are living NPCs. And you've got a sample adventure in there as well. That's quite a nice setup. That's be quite fun, especially if you actually, you know, if you're a fan of ghosts. Arc game about the end. So on. The only thing I sort of like, I would kind of like having this is where I'm going through is it's a bit of a thumbnail description of the game, so sort of like, you know, I can explain it because it's you know, sort of like hook to grab the reader and potential player. Atop the Burning Heap is a single player game of Pyrrhic victory. Sort of like that gives a bit more of a description than the others. But you've got in here a sort of like reference for various obstacles you might overcome, morals you must deal with, resources and people, using a deck of cards. Advert for Maces, which is a 9th level games role-playing game. An epic ending, a game about dying for what's right. Okay, basically another role, sort of like mini role-playing about the final end of epic fantasy characters. And it's interesting to the sort of that you've got a number of different mini role-playing games in here about sort of like the last hurrah of epic heroes, and that kind of, you're wondering in 2023 how does that fit in with the current situation in the hobby, where we are sort of like on a precipice waiting to hear what exactly the next iteration of the great heroes is going to be, as envisioned by the greatest role-playing game in the hobby, Dungeons and Dragons. We are getting a new edition next year. Will it, are we seeing the death of heroes, or and the rebirth and so on? So yeah, a couple of other adverts at the end. And level 1 promises to return in 2024. But yeah, that's an interesting collection of mini role-playing games which you can pull out and bring to the table with a bit of study and try out just once or twice. You have got multiple games in here that will just keep you occupied. And it's nice to have this sort of volume to hand, because you can just pull that and go, oh, we'll play this as just a one shot, something like that. So yeah, level 1 of the free RPG Day Indie RPG Anthology Volume 4, released for free RPG Day 2023. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game, or in this case an anthology of anthology of role-playing games, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks to David Salisbury for Fanboy3 for providing me with these to unbox and review. And thanks to you for watching another unboxing the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.